All right, welcome back to Football Scorecast, everyone. Ready to dive into another exciting Champions League matchup?
Absolutely.
I am pumped for this one. Shakhtar Donetsk.
Yeah.
Going up against Bayern Munich. I mean, to talk about a clash of styles, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It's going to be a good one.
And fortunes.
And fortunes, yeah, exactly right.
We've got the sort of plucky underdog
Yeah.
Shakhtar going up against a real European giant.
Right. You know, I was looking at some of the stats for Shakhtar, and even though they've had a bit of a rough patch lately, you know, they had those losses against Arsenal and PSV, but they have this kind of like fighting spirit about them. They don't give up easily.
Lots of resilience.
Yeah. But here's the thing. They got this really curious stat. They're one of the few clubs across all UEFA competitions with at least 4 games as underdogs.
Right.
And they've got 0 wins.
Yeah, you have to wonder about that. Like, it speaks to their resilience.
Yeah.
But can they translate that into an upset? You know, that's the big question.
That's the million-dollar question.
All right.
And, you know, when I think about these two teams, Bayern and Shakhtar, like, the first thing that pops into my head, it's not a good memory for Shakhtar fans.
I have a feeling I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know. You know what I'm talking about.
That 7-0 drubbing.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
2014-15 season.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to sting a little bit, right?
Shakhtar's worst ever UEFA loss.
Yeah, exactly. And, I mean, obviously, we don't expect history to repeat itself exactly.
Yeah.
But you got to think Bayern's coming into this match as pretty heavy favorites.
Oh, without a doubt. The odds are definitely in their favor. But there is one thing that makes this matchup kind of interesting. Shakhtar's recent home record, home in quotes.
Okay, wait a second. Home in quotes.
Yeah. Last season, because of the conflict in Ukraine, Shakhtar had to play their home games in Germany.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So they were essentially like forced to be on the road even for their home games.
Exactly.
That's wild.
But here's the thing. They actually had some pretty impressive wins in Germany.
No kidding. Who did they beat?
They took down Barcelona.
Wow.
And Antwerp.
Okay. All right. So maybe being on the road isn't necessarily a bad thing for them.
Right.
But they didn't win all their games in Germany,
Yes,
right?
it's true. There was a loss.
Okay.
Bit of a concerning one to Atalanta, 3-0.
Okay. Atalanta. What's so concerning about that?
Atalanta, the way they play, you know, that high press and those quick transitions, it's kind of like a blueprint for how to trouble Bayern.
Oh, interesting. So that loss to Atalanta, it could be like a little preview of what Bayern might try to do.
That's possibly, yeah. It's definitely something to keep in mind.
For sure. Okay, well, let's switch gears.
Okay.
Let's talk about Bayern for a sec. Now, usually when we talk about Bayern in the Champions League, I mean, they're pretty much a lock for the top 8.
Yeah.
Right. But this time around, it seems like things are a little bit, well, they're a little bit different.
Definitely more precarious than usual.
Okay, what's going on? Why is this the case?
Well, Bayern have been, I don't know how to put this nicely.
You say it.
They've been kind of shaky on the road, away from home.
Bayern. Struggling on the road. This doesn't sound like the Bayern that I know.
I know, right. And it's actually quite historic. They're currently on a 3-game losing streak.
Wow.
In the Champions League. Away from home.
3 in a row.
3 in a row.
Okay, remind me, who did they lose to?
Aston Villa was 1.
Okay.
Barcelona.
Yeah.
And even Real Madrid last season.
Wow, okay. That's a serious slump.
Yeah, unprecedented for them.
So it sounds like Bayern has a little bit of an away day curse that they need to break here.
It definitely seems that way.
All right, well, let's dive into some of the players.
Okay.
You know, who should we be keeping our eyes on in this match?
Well, for Shakhtar, it's got to be Danylo Sikan.
Okay.
He's the main goal scorer, the one to watch.
What's his story?
Well, the fascinating thing about Sikan is there's this really weird trend.
Right.
When he scores, Shakhtar almost always win.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But when he doesn't, they really struggle to find results. So a lot is riding on his shoulders.
Talk about pressure.
Yeah.
No kidding. Now, who should we be watching on Bayern's side?
Well, I think Jamal Musiala is the one to keep an eye on.
Musiala.
He's young, but he's already having such a huge impact, consistently earning those Player of the Match awards.
Oh, wow. Okay, so we've got Sikan, the potential savior for Shakhtar, going up against Musiala, the rising star of Bayern. It's going to be interesting to see them go head-to-head. Now, before we wrap things up here, Any other, like, interesting trends or stats that we should be thinking about before this match kicks off?
Yeah, I'm looking at my notes here, and one thing that really jumps out to me is this trend of low-scoring games that Bayern's been involved in lately.
Low scoring.
Yeah, so 5 of their last 7 matches across all competitions have had under 2.5 total goals.
Wow. So maybe we're not going to see a goal fest like we might usually expect from Bayern.
It's possible.
What do you think? I mean, is this a sign that they're kind of shifting their strategy?
Yeah, it could be. There's still an incredibly potent attacking team.
Oh, absolutely.
But this trend suggests that they're becoming a bit more cautious, a bit more focused on control and defensive solidity.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, so let's put it all together. Can Shakhtar pull off a miracle? Can they channel that home away from home magic and actually get an upset here?
Well, that's the big question, isn't it? Can they disrupt Bayern's build-up play like they did against Barcelona?
Yeah.
Can Bayern shake off this strange away day curse?
Right.
And of course, we've got that Sikan Musiala duel to look forward to.
Yeah, sure. So many storylines. I mean, this is going to be a fascinating match. All right, so for everyone listening at home, as we get ready for kickoff, I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay.
Given Shakhtar's resilience, as an underdog,
Mm-hmm.
and Bayern's recent struggles on the road, could we see a draw? I mean, it might not be the most exciting outcome,
Right.
but it might be the most realistic. Just some food for thought
I like it.
as we await kickoff.
For sure.
All right. We'll be back after the match to break it all down.
Looking forward to it.
See you then.